Hello everyone. I am just going to share some updates and a little bit of what I hope will encourage some other people who also have been going through stuff recently. First, some updates. We are currently working, or we're currently working on recording the song Masterpiece. I am hoping to be able to release it before the end of June, so that's coming. I do not currently have any more songs written to record. That could change at any moment, any day, any hour, and I certainly hope to have another one soon. I have bits and pieces of a few, but nothing complete right now that's waiting. So once God does give me another one, I will eagerly get on up there to the recording studio to share it with everyone. And I do hope it's soon, because I am hoping to be back in the recording studio in June working on another song. But it's however God wills. I also, I've been out, haven't shared too much recently. I was out of the country on a wonderful trip. It was a spiritual trip more than anything else, not so much sightseeing. And God's really doing a lot and moving a lot in my husband's life and my life. But along with that have come a lot of attacks. Just in the last several weeks, we've had to replace our furnace on the house. My husband has been in the emergency room. My son has been in the hospital. My car got damaged by hail. But the thing that I want to encourage you all about is that the closer you walk with God, the less things like that faze you. I can look back on the person that I was years ago when these kinds of things would even threaten, even before they hit, even if they didn't hit, even just thinking about it, and how uptight I would get, or anxious I would get, worried, compared to the person that I am today. And none of these things have really fazed me that much. Just see God's provision and God's grace and God's ability to carry us through anything and everything. And just looking at myself and the shift and change compared to who I used to be and who I am now is just phenomenal. And that's become so clear to me in these last few weeks, the way that the more we get to know God, the more we are changed. I'm tempted to say the stronger we get, but the reality is it's not necessarily that we get stronger. It's that we learn that much more to rely on His strength, which is unlimited. The more we learn to relax and rest in His strength and His victory. And so I am that much more firmly convinced, more than I ever have been, which has been a lot for many years, that the best thing to do always, no matter what you're going through, no matter what people you love are going through, no matter what's going on in the world, the best thing is always to just keep running after God, seeking God, diving into every chance, everything that you've got, not diving and looking after the things of God, but God Himself, to know Him. That's the treasure. The treasure is in knowing Him, because that's what changes us. Just receiving things from God, that doesn't change us. Makes us happy, but it doesn't change us. Just hearing about God and other people's experiences with God, that can make us hungry for God, but that also doesn't change us. It's the time that we spend getting to know Him ourselves. And I know a lot of people hear that and perhaps you're one of those who hear that and say, but how do I spend time with God? How do I seek Him? I feel like I don't really even know what to do. And I just want to encourage you that it's not as complicated as the devil's trying to make it think. There isn't a 12-step program for seeking God that you have to learn and take before you can do it. There isn't a set of rules and regulations that you have to do before you seek God, before you go after Him. It's all just a position of the heart. It's just a choice that you make throughout the day. And the glorious thing about the choice is that no matter how many moments throughout the day we make the wrong choice, whether because we're so busy we forget, or whether because we're actually consciously make the wrong choice to turn our heart away from God instead of toward God. No matter how many of those times in the day come, God's always there, just like the father of the prodigal son. He's always there, waiting for the next moment when we will turn our hearts towards Him. And I remember years ago when I used to feel so bad and guilt-ridden about how so many times the whole day would go by and I would barely think about God or talk to Him or pray even once in the day. And so I would set alarms or put reminders up, and those were good things to do, but the guilt was unnecessary, because God was waiting for me eagerly for me to turn in those moments and say, okay, God, here I am. I love you. Help. Or, God, I love you. Thank you that this moment is going gloriously. Or, God, thank you that you're with me right now in the middle of this project. Whatever it happened to be. He was waiting way back then just as eagerly as He is now in days when I'm talking with Him for hours on end. This is the God that we serve. This is who He is. It's always a moment by moment relationship, and there's never a moment that's too late, at least until we die. Then it's too late, and we don't know when that day is coming. But if you're listening to this, the moment hasn't come yet. So that's really all that seeking Him is about. It's about that little thing, that little step, that God, okay, here I am. What do you want me to do? What do you have for me? What do you want to show me? Show me who you are, please. I want to know you. And even if the very next moment our job or our kids or something yanks our attention away, that moment was still valuable and important and priceless. And then the next moment, do it again. And listen, and the second half of that is just simply being obedient, that at some point there's going to be a little teeny tiny little gentle feeling of, maybe I should read my Bible right now. I've got a couple minutes and nothing else is clamoring for attention. Or maybe I should put down my phone and just pray and talk to God for a little while, or just meditate on this verse that's going through my mind, or grab a piece of paper or a journal or a document on my phone and talk to God about this verse that for some reason is just going through my mind, or this worship song or this lyric that is just touching me over and over again. And I'm just gonna write out the question that's in my mind about it, or ask God, why is this running through me? Do you want to tell me something? When those little moments come, whatever it is, just give it to God. Give those moments to God, and that's where it starts, and that's as simple as it is. So I really want to encourage you to do that. So many of the things that God allows into our life, it's just Him knocking at the door saying, let me in, I want to transform you, but you got to seek me, because it's all about me. He knows it's all about Him. He knows it's not about anything else. So I hope that encourages someone, and I look forward to sharing Masterpiece with you next month, and hopefully in not too long I'll get to share the news that God's given me another song to record when Masterpiece is done. God bless everyone. Bye.